What's up, folks? BillyGoat, and I don't traditionally get excited about fights, like ever get excited about fights. I wake up every day, my whole life is revolved around fighting. I wake up, I train, I come home, I sleep a little bit, try to recover as much as I possibly can, and then I go train again. So traditionally, I don't really get excited about fights, like at all. But UFC 309 has got me freaking excited. Who's going to be the GOAT, Jon Jones or Stipe? Well, I guess we're going to find out. We're going to freaking find out. And this fight's got me a little bit excited. Why has it got me excited? Because absolutely nobody has been able to figure out how to beat Jones. Nobody. No one's figured out the equation at all. Not even gotten close. I know they say that people have gotten close. But honestly, have they really gotten close? Have they? Because 90% of people who quote unquote have gotten close. Well, let's look at Dominic Reyes, for example. He got quote unquote close, and look at what happened to him. He was like a changed man. He never fought the same again. Ever again. You wonder why? Because he pushed himself. Jon Jones took him to a level that he had never had to be at before, and he never wanted to have to go back there. I'm telling you that right now. Fatigue will make a coward out of anybody. Anybody, folks. They've both fought a really, really high-level fighter, a legend in Daniel Cormier. And both of their fights went very, very, very similar. One of them was by decision. And then the next one was by KO. The next one was by KO. It seems like their IQs are pretty similar. You know what I mean? It looks like they read their opponents very well. And I was going to do a reaction video to the press conference. But there's so much more to mention than just what happened at the press conference. Like the media day, like the pre-fight interview, there is so much to mention here. Like Jon Jones getting his feelings hurt because he said he was going to beat Stipe's ass, and then Stipe calling him a bitch. Like, we can talk about that. Where is everyone's head state at? It looks like Stipe's in a great head state, a great headspace. I mean, look at him. He's literally eating during his pre-fight interview. You know how many people won't even eat the day of a fight? How many fighters don't even eat the day of a fight? So many of them. They got so many stresses, so much anxiety on them. They can't eat. That's not me. I ain't skipping a meal over no fights. It is what it is. Whatever happens. I'm not skipping a meal over a fight. And obviously neither is Stipe. He's going to sit there and eat his meal while y'all are asking him questions, answering them as calmly as he possibly can. So it makes you think. Jon Jones is getting his feelings hurt. Dana is changing rules and equipment for Jon Jones. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all of a sudden now 12-6 are legal a few months before this fight comes out. Like, kind of, I don't know. It's not really a coincidence. And then the gloves. Oh my gosh. Look back at that press conference. Look back at that press conference, folks. Look back at it. As soon as they started talking about those gloves, Dana White goes, yeah, there was a lot of veterans on this card. Why would I make them use some new gloves? Blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of veterans who are complaining about them and how they don't fit right. They don't feel good. Blah, blah, blah. And if y'all don't know anything about those gloves, well, those gloves made your hands curve. I don't know how that's going to cause you not to eye poke people. Because, I mean, if I turn my wrist up and do this, I still will poke you in the eye. But it makes that traditional eye poke not such a thing. Not as big of a deal, that Jon Jones eye poke. I mean, just look back at the press conference. As soon as Dana started answering questions about those gloves, you can see Jon Jones looks up at him, then he looks down, and he does not look back at the crowd. He doesn't look back at the crowd. And I'm not dogging on Jon Jones. I'm a huge Jon Jones fan. I think he is probably the best fighter to have ever lived. I guess we'll find out tomorrow night if he was the best fighter to ever live. But You know, people's mannerisms and the way they act speak a whole lot louder than words. A whole lot. I mean, just look at him. As soon as you start asking about the gloves, he looks down, doesn't look around the crowd. Absolutely nothing. And then the amount of disrespect towards Stipe during that press conference. Like, you know, as long as this guy to the right of me is still living, y'all know what I believe. Y'all know what I believe. And then, of course, Stipe goes from smiling to, I'm going to rip Dana's head off. So, I mean, maybe Dana should stop glazing Jon Jones up so much. But at the end of the day, he has never, ever, ever been beaten. So, the question lies, who's going to win? Who's going to win? A nice, relaxed Stipe or a whiny, emotional Jon Jones? I'm not calling Jon Jones a whiner by any means. I think Jon Jones is a cool guy. I think he's a great fighter. But Stipe has never had a fight overturned from the use of PEDs. Jon Jones has. Stipe has never been arrested for hitting a drunk lady while hitting a pregnant white lady while intoxicated. Jon Jones has. Stipe doesn't get emotional. Jon Jones does. Stipe is the definition of a true fighter, the man who puts on the boots every day and gets the hell out the door and goes and does his job. Stipe gives back to the community. He teaches kids. He's a firefighter. Like, what is there not to be on Stipe's side here about? I know when the punches and kicks start getting thrown, a lot of times the athlete wins it. But, I mean, let's go back to the fight that, saved the UFC. Stephen Bonner versus Forrest Griffin. One, not two, but one. The fighter won that one. The fighter won that one. Let's just put it that way. So, maybe Stipe goes out here, turns it into a gritty fight. But I don't think that's what he should do. At all. At all. I think that his IQ levels are, I wouldn't say leaps and bounds above Jon, but I think they, like I said, they're going to be like right here with each other. Why? They have both ended a legend in DC the same way. Decision, knockout. You know what I mean, folks? So, at the end of the day, we're going to have to see tomorrow night who wins the fight. I believe that, no one's ever beat Jon Jones, but the relaxedness of Stipe is quite intimidating. I mean, the man is eating his lunch while answering y'all's questions. That's insane, folks. That's insane. That's another level of calm. Unless he's just trying to keep himself, I guess, active, doing something, so that he's not having to think about the fight. Could be that. Or he could have absolutely no stresses, no anxiety, no worries about the fight. He knows what he has to do. Go out there and fight this man. Punches, kicks, elbows, double legs, chokes. At the end of the day, who's coming off the injury? Jones. Who's coming off of a 4-year layoff? Stipe. And Jones, honestly, let's be real. I mean, he had one fight, 1 minute and 30 seconds long. I mean, they're both pretty rusty, if you have to ask me. There's a lot to see here. There's a lot to say here. There's a lot that could happen here. But at the end of the day, tomorrow night, folks, we find out who, honestly, the GOAT is of the sport. The GOAT is of the sport. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter which one of these people you put in the room. You look, Demetrius Johnson, he's a GOAT. He's a freaking GOAT. You lock him in the room with Jon Jones or Stipe, you don't know who's making it out, either Jon Jones or Stipe. Demetrius, DJ is not making it out of there. He's not. I mean, size makes a huge difference in a fight. Hence why there's weight classes. You know what I mean? So, I guess tomorrow night determines who the real GOAT is. Who the real GOAT is. Because at the end of the day, whoever holds that heavyweight title, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. And tomorrow night, we find out who the freaking GOAT is.